What's going on, everybody? It's Ricky with Videohomicide, back with the birthday haul. I got a lot of really fucking awesome stuff, man. It's been a while since I really kind of splurged on myself, and I thought, why not? I turned 30 over the weekend, and I actually ended up going to a concert with my dad. We saw the Forgotten Rebels, which is a Canadian punk band that formed like in the 70s, and my dad's seen them multiple times back in the day, and it was our first concert together, so it was pretty special. They kicked ass. We were drunk as fuck, high as fuck. Good times had by all. And also I went to the punk rock flea market, which was an event that hasn't happened in since before COVID. And they used to run it at Call the Office. I only went to it one time, and it was really cool. A bunch of vendors with all sorts of different stuff, from like homemade crafts to art to records, all kinds of stuff like that. A lot of music was kicking around, and that's really cool because I've recently, and I've talked about this in the last, over the past year or so with the live streams and shit, really started to get into metal. Not too much of the death metal, the black metal, more of like the 80s heavy metal, like your Motorheads, Megadeth, Metallica, Black Sabbath, that kind of stuff, Canadian stuff, Annihilators, Accept. There's dozens of other bands that I've recently discovered that I'm really getting into, but I've tried to listen to a few albums. There's a really good channel on YouTube. I think it's called Ken's Vinyl Vault or something like that, and he's uploaded a bunch of demos and albums from all across time, but a lot of really unknown stuff, and I've been listening to a lot of that stuff. Some of the albums are just demos. They're 7 minutes long, some of them, but it's enjoyable. I listened to this one, totally not going to remember the name of the band, but it was an all chick metal band from 1991, and it sounded awesome, and it's really cool. So I have been picking up cassettes in the last little while. I've got about 7 to show. I picked them all up from Odyssey Records, so definitely big shout out to Odyssey Records. Definitely check them out if you can. Check out their web store. If you're in the area, go visit the store. They have so much cool shit kicking around. If you're into this kind of genre stuff, you can find something there. So real quick, I'm gonna get into the stuff that Kayla bought me just to show the best first, if you want to say that. She actually kind of surprised me. So this right here is not movie, not music related, but this is a pack of microns. These are 0.3s, so I don't know if she realized that she got all the same. That's fine, because 0.3 or 0.3, that's one that I use a lot. I use this one a lot for when it comes to the stippling effect, when I'm doing when I'm drawing and shit like that. I really like to start with the 0.05, and then I do 0.01 over top of that, and I just kind of gradient it up. It's hard to describe or hard to explain if you've never really done it, but I definitely appreciate these. Can't have enough microns. I feel like they last a decent amount of time. I feel like the bigger ones last longer than the smaller ones. I definitely got to go down to BJ's and get BJ's is the art store here in my city, or one of the art stores. And I got to pick up, because they're only $3 at BJ's. They're $5.79 at Michael's, which is ridiculous. I can't believe that shit, but definitely highly recommended art utensils if you're a fan of drawing. Definitely level your game up with some microns, especially if you've been kind of toying around with the idea. They'll change the way that you draw for sure. So start with some of these movies that Kayla got me. Oh, she also got me this patch, which is pretty dope. It's a chick with a skeleton busting out of it, which I think is pretty badass. Don't know where that's going to go. It's going to go on the jacket. I don't know where yet, though. I'm kind of running out of space that's, easily stitchable. It's especially with this jacket, it has these weird kind of, not rivets, but these folds that make it difficult to put patches in certain places. Continuing on with the Kayla haul, she picked me up a Lucio Fulci film. This is by Raro Video, and it is called Touch of Death, and I know nothing about it. I was talking to Danny B about it, and I think he said it was pretty sick. Shout out to the Trash Dash. So this, I haven't even opened this yet, but this is the Raro. This is, I think, the second or third Raro release that I own. I'm not big on you know, I know they put out a lot of good stuff, but they're pretty expensive where I'm from, so it's sort of a raro little pun there. But the thing I'm looking forward to even more than this film itself is there's a special feature called When Lucio Fulci Broke the Mirror. It's a 20-minute special feature. So and it says contains a booklet and 1 Blu-ray disc. And there's like a rat on top of this chick's body, and that sicks me out already. Moving along, we've got this is directed by Mario Landi, and this is the full moon release of Gore in Venice. Now, Gore in Venice is a giallo film from 1979. It's also known as Giallo in Venice. Remains one of the most harrowing examples of the European horror film, a shocker filled with sex, violence, and graphic gore galore. Sounds like my house on Saturday night. There it is. Looking forward to watching that. A lot of these you're probably going to see, spoiler alert, on 31 Days of Horror, which I am doing this year. I've recorded already 10 videos at the time of this video. Next, we've got a Mario Bava classic. That Leonard, like, I have a Leonard Maltin movie guide in my fucking crapper. So, like, when I'm taking a shit or whatever, I'm just, like, kind of flip through it and look at different movie reviews and stuff. And I think he gave this Blood and Black Lace, like, a 1.5 star, which is insane. Because Leonard Maltin, like, I love him and hate him at the same time. Because sometimes, like, he'll give a movie like Scarface, like the Al Pacino one, like 1.5 stars. But then he'll give, like, some crapper film, drawing a blank on one, but like they give it like 3 stars. It's insane. But grew up reading those Leonard Maltin guides. Blood and Black Lace, great film. I actually watched it last year. I did do a video about it. It's only like 4 minutes, so maybe it's worth doing another video on this film. But really glad to have this in the collection in such a nice release. 2 disc special edition. We've got commentary with Tim Lucas of Video Watchdog. I actually got an issue of Video Watchdog with Alfred Hitchcock with the axe to his head. I think either a gun to his head or an axe to his head. We've got interviews with different people throughout or involved with the film. Uncut widescreen European version from the Italian godfather of horror, Mario Bava. Hell yeah, man. I don't own enough Bava in the collection. Like, my Uncle Mike had these really nice Bava box sets, and I think he sold them like years ago. And I'm like, fuck, dude, I would have bought those off you no problem nowadays. But the last movie that Kayla bought me, actually, it's technically not the last because one that she bought me I actually already own, and that's Lizard in a Woman's Skin, which is a Fulci giallo film. But that's okay because I'll probably just give the copy that I own to my dad and then just keep the copy from her. Just so, you know, nothing's kind of lost out on it. But next we've got Dario Argento's Trauma, which is another film that I talked to about Danny B earlier. Don't really know anything about it. It's packed with special features. This is a Vinegar Syndrome release. The last couple releases like that, Gore in Venice, Full Moon, if I didn't mention, and the other one, the Blood and Black Lace, no fucking clue. It's like a weird logo I've never seen before, but Trauma. Really looking forward to checking this one out too. It's the first U.S. leased film. I don't know, someone maybe fucked up on the spelling there, but there's a lot of cool looking features, like Head Above the Rest, an interview with special effects artist Tom Savini. I didn't know that Tom Savini and Argento worked together other than Dawn of the Dead, but they didn't directly work together. But there's an interview with James Russo, interview with Piper Laurie, interview with assistant director Rod Smith, audio commentary. Like, there's just tons of stuff on here. So Vinegar Syndrome's always kind of knocking it out of the park. Moving along to some of the stuff that I bought. All this stuff I bought for myself. I picked this up at the punk rock flea market. It's a badass patch. It's of Hot Stuff, who very much so looks like one of the characters that I used to use as a graffiti character. Really cool stuff. Yeah, that's right, man. I don't use fucking autofocus because I went to film school. Next, this is the card of whoever the fuck it is that I bought that patch off of. I just thought it was a cool card. I thought about I'll probably tape it on my sticker board. I've got a bunch of stuff that weren't stickers that I ended up making stickers. So if you're interested in checking out this guy's shit, there it is right there. Really love stickers. Really love patches and stuff like that, obviously. So Moving along to the final two films, or three films left in this haul. Let me just get this sticker off here. So I picked this up from Odyssey Records, of course. A film that I've wanted in the collection for such a long time. I have a bootleg of it, and I have the VHS, but now I finally have the Blue Underground release of City of the Living Dead, the Lucio Fulci film. Start of the Gates of Hell trilogy, a fantastic movie. One of the best horror films I like in my experience growing up. There's tons of good kills in this movie, lots of good atmospheric camera work, memorable lines. Like me and Justin from Odyssey were talking about. I said I love that line when the guy's like, "Where's the dope? You flush it down the toilet." Like just random shit like that, and really good stuff. City of the Living Dead. So in the way of extras, we got the making of the City of the Living Dead, which I can't wait to watch. Acting among the living dead. Entering the Gates of Hell with Giovanni Lombardo Radici. So I've seen in an interview before, or in a documentary, I think it was on the documentary of Cannibal Apocalypse, where Giovanni Radici says that in the scene where he's dressed up as like a zombie in this movie, he was stoned. And I love that. Cool little piece of info. Next is Canadian film, Canadian-made Japanese film. Excuse me, not Japanese. I believe it's Indonesian. I could be wrong on that, but nonetheless, I finally own a copy of The Sadness. Yes, man, this is such a badass movie. It's so graphic, so awesome. Written, directed, and edited by Rob Jabaz, who's a Canadian filmmaker, which is excellent because being Canadian. We don't have that many people like horror figures, but we got David Cronenberg, who's like a heavy hitter. We got this guy. We got I'm trying to think of some other ones like Bob Clark is one. There's tons of other ones that I'm missing out on right now. But The Sadness, if you've not checked this flick out, you are doing yourself a disservice. It's one of the best, most graphic films that I've ever seen in my life. It's basically like the comic book Crossed turned into a film, and it's great. And this character, this old man that was on the subway that has like the umbrella, like I think he's one of the coolest characters. I wouldn't be surprised if you see people dressed up as him as for Halloween in future years, and maybe even this year. So definitely stoked to own this out, or to own this. This is put out by Raven Banner, which is also a Canadian distributor, whatever. I've got one more movie, and it's a VHS tape, and it's one that I've actually spied on Odyssey's. I'm on their Facebook, right? And whenever they kind of get a stack of new shit in, they take a photo and post it. And this was on there a while ago, and I really wanted to get it because I don't own these movies. I own them in the form of bootlegs, but with no subtitles, which sucks. But now I own, this is actually the sequel, but it's Lady Snowblood, Love Song of Vengeance. This is put out by Samurai Cinema, which I have a few other films that they have put out. Lady Snowblood, of course, played by Miko Kaji, I believe. Kaji Miko, it says on the back here, but I've read it in reverse in the past. But anyways, she was the female prisoner Scorpion, so those movies are fucking phenomenal. And what I've seen of Lady Snowblood is fantastic, so I can't wait to actually sit down and watch this. And I can probably find a copy of number one online with subtitles, just so I can, watch this in its full entirety. There's that. All right, so we got one book, and then we got 7 cassettes. Now, the book I actually got for free from Justin at Odyssey. We were talking. I was telling him how I'm getting into metal and this and that, and really big into Motorhead. So he was like, "Hey man, do you read?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And he went in the back and he grabbed this and he just tossed it to me for free. It's Lemmy's autobiography called White Line Fever, which of course, if you know Motorhead, that's a title of one of their songs, a fucking good song. Yeah, man, Lemmy is a god. He's the reason. He is the last man standing and no one comes first, says Dave Grohl from Foo Fighters. Dave Grohl is actually a really fucking good musician that I'm not that crazy on Foo Fighters. I think they're okay, but I'm more into, like I said, like the 80s, shit. And you'll see with these cassettes, and you'll see the kind of stuff that I am into. Because I'm only buying albums off of people that I'm only buying cassettes of people that I know, stuff that I know that I like, because cassettes are rather pricey. They're not cheap unless you kind of find them in a thrift store or something like that. But, you know, when you're buying them from specialty shops and shit like that, you're going to pay what they're worth. I forgot to mention, I actually bought two 7 inches albums, and I bought them because I'm curious, because I want to start collecting 45s because of only ones with the cool artwork. And, you know, that could be crazy to some, like I'm buying albums and I don't even know like what's on them, but I'm giving them a chance based on their artwork. So this one's called Retribution Consumed. I don't know if that's the name of the, I don't know what's the band name and what's the album name, but really, really amazing cover art with like a Grim Reaper guy, a bottle of booze, a needle, and like a guy losing his mind with death creeping over him. I think if you know my artwork, you could see why I would be drawn to that. Next we got Den Electric Eyes. This is from 2012, and it just has this really cool drawing of like a caveman like beating the shit out of like a knight in shining armor basically. So that's really cool, man. Again, ever since this discovery of, you know, I kind of got to owe it a little bit to my cousin Dylan as well, because he still is like really big into Motorhead, and he was like talking about it a lot, and I was like, let me give us a chance. And you know, as time went by, like flash forward a few years, like now I'm buying fucking punk rock. Like I'm pretty sure these are both punk rock bands, but buying like punk records and fucking cassettes and stuff. Like it's cool though, man, because like I'm a curator. I have many interests, many hobbies. I know a lot of us do. You know, movies, books, music, that kind of shit. It's basically all the stuff that is most important to me, other than like my family and my girl and shit like that. But so moving on to the cassettes. So I picked up Iron Maiden's Killers album, which I think is their second album. I could be wrong on that. I'm just going to do this just to make it a little more easy to see the cover arts on these bad boys. Okay, so this is an iconic cover, I believe, painted by, not Mike Plug. I don't know why I was going to say Mike Plug. Man, I'm totally going to remember later on tonight. I mean, my uncle was telling me about this guy. Now I got to look it up, man, or I'm going to be literally fucking insane. God damn it. Oh, fuck it, whatever. Next we got, this is just like a couple of songs on here by Ozzy Osbourne. It doesn't have a title on the thing. It just has like the names of the, you know, Geezer Butler, bass player, Zach Wilde, guitarist, Randy Costello must be the drum player because I'm unfamiliar with his name, but really cool stuff. Ozzy Osbourne, I fucking love Ozzy. He actually just put out a new record not long ago, like that just came out like recently. Next we got Megadeth's debut album called Killing Is My Business and Business Is Good. I really wish it was a little more light there, but yeah, there's that. Love this shit. Can't wait to bump that. I actually got a cassette deck right there. I just got to set everything up. It's just, you know, work and stuff. Like, I work kind of random hours. Not random, but like they're always the same, but I just work kind of shitty hours. So it kind of, when I come home, I just kind of want to chill out. But here we got Megadeth, Rust in Peace. This is their 4th album. Amazing cover. It's one of my favorite covers of all time. I think this, whoever does the art on this, like definitely is heavily influenced by, you know, horror, sci-fi, cinema, that kind of stuff. Bernie Wrightson type artwork. I can't believe I can't remember the guy that does the Iron Maiden fucking album covers. Maybe it's on there. Probably not. Damn, man. I fucking know it too, and I look like a dick, but next we got a Motorhead Tape. This has it says including 5 bonus tracks. Like, it doesn't say. I think this is like their debut album revisited. I could be wrong, but it's got like Motorhead, White Line Fever, Iron Horse, Born to Lose. So this could be their intro album or their debut album. I believe it is, but a remaster of it. So we got Motorhead, or a re-release of it. Had to get one of these bad boys because I want to have it like in the background when I'm shooting videos, because I think that they're their character is so fucking cool, so badass, so up my alley. Next we got Black Sabbath's debut album, Black Sabbath, self-titled. Really freaky looking album cover there, but we got like Black Sabbath, we got The Wizard, we got NIB, Wicked World, Warning. Like this is as classic as it gets for heavy metal. So there it is, Black Sabbath. And then finally, last but certainly not least, we've got the debut album of the one and only Metallica, Kill 'Em All, which is fantastic. It's got Seek and Destroy, it's got Hit the Lights, The Four Horsemen, Motor Breath, Jump in the Fire, Pulling Teeth, Metal Militia, Seek. Like, this is a fucking banger of an album. It's crazy because, like, my interests are so wide, and I think a lot of people are like this too. You know, I could listen to anything from, like, Motorhead to Wu-Tang to Big L to Ozzy Osbourne, Megadeth to you know, DOS Effects, EPMD. Like, I love, like, 90s rap, 80s metal. That's all I need. You know what I mean? So that was the birthday haul. I'm fucking stoked about all this stuff. Like, now can finally integrate it into the collection. I don't have to have it just sitting there on my kitchen table. Look out for a couple more metal cassette videos coming up in the future. Definitely stay tuned for the 31 Days of Horror. Like I said, I've already filmed 10 videos at this point, and we're just going to keep going from there, because that's like the main reason I haven't really put any videos out the month of September, is because I've been prepping for 31 days. Like, I want to have at least 15 videos, 12 to 15 videos before October. That way I'm not like rushing around, racing around, you know what I mean? And some of the videos that I'll be making will be videos on films that I love and maybe haven't watched recently, so it's not going to be like, I don't really consider that cheating, but, you know, as long as you're putting out 31 videos, I think that that's pretty much the qualifications that you need. So having a lot of fun doing that. And once October is, you know, on a roll a bit, I'll be able to put out more sort of haul, not really haul videos, but just like random kind of videos, collection videos, stuff that I like doing. So I appreciate everybody for sticking around this long and definitely becoming homies and stuff like that. Shout out to everybody that comes to the live streams. We have a lot of fun there. Last week we ran for like 3 hours, had a bunch of fuckers in there talking shit. Always a good time. So if you've been skeptical, or, you know, you want to check it out, usually every Friday around 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time is when I'm going to pop on. And I'll make a post on the community tab when I am going to do that, just so you guys have a bit of a head start or know that it's going to happen or not, because Friday nights is pretty much the only night that I can do it. I could do it Saturday night, but, you know, this weekend's it's not going to happen on no Saturday night this weekend, because my girl's off work, and we're going to kind of like celebrate my birthday a little bit more. Possibly go to Toronto, possibly go to like this fucking sort of like gothic witches kind of like fair, or like flea market. That's where I bought my shrunken head last year for $60. So I definitely want to go check that out again. But I kind of do also want to go to Toronto, because there's a few spots there that sell patches and shit like that I want to check out again. But we'll see what happens. Whatever happens, you'll definitely, if there's a haul, you will know about it. You will see it. So with that being said, thanks for watching. Leave a 666 in the comments, and adios. Have a safe and happy start to your fall. Halloween is upon us, and we're going to have a hell of a time this year. So adios.